Unit 1 Test Part B Audio 1.
Morning everyone, Harper here again with another interview in our apparently fascinating series, according to all your feedback, about education and learning. Today we're going back to the very first learning we ever do, which prepares us to deal with any number of learning situations that we might face in our lifetimes. It is without doubt the most complex learning experience we ever go through, but it appears to happen with the ultimate ease. Of course, I'm talking about first language learning, or acquisition, and my guest today is Evan Powell, who has just written a book about the topic. Evan, welcome.
Thank you, Harper. Yes, you're right. It is an enormously complex process which babies seem to sail through almost magically. If we look at the challenges that we are confronted with when attempting to learn a second language, with the different systems, vast numbers of vocabulary items, grammatical structures and so on, it does seem incredible that we ever acquire a first language at all. There have been all sorts of theories about the ways our first language is acquired.
Absolutely. So, Evan, do we know just when language acquisition starts?
It was originally thought that this begins when the baby is born and hears the caregiver's voice, initially the mother's. However, it's now believed that a baby becomes aware of language even before it is born. At about 6 months, when the auditory system kicks in, the baby hears not individual sounds, but the intonation and rhythms of the language spoken around the mother, and starts to, I think we could say, tune in to the language it will eventually be speaking.
I knew that playing music, etc., is good for the baby before it is born, but to think that it is actually beginning to identify a language is fascinating.
Additionally, every child is born with the ability to hear and eventually reproduce every sound in every language spoken on our planet. We're told that this is around 800 individual sounds, or phonemes. So the newborn child is fully equipped to speak any language. And what amazes me is that, having tuned in to the intonation and rhythms before birth, the newborn can already distinguish between different languages. As the child grows, of course, this available range of sounds reduces and becomes limited to those heard in the particular language around it, which is the one they learn to process and speak. So, by 11 months or so, the child is already beginning to lose this ability to differentiate.
I imagine that this is why early second language learning is encouraged, before this ability goes completely. Evan, can I ask you about something a little controversial? As a mum, when speaking to my baby, I automatically used to use what some people call baby talk. You know, simplified sentences and words like choo-choo train. I've heard others say that they would never call a train a choo-choo or shorten sentences because they want their child to learn proper words and grammar as early as possible. What is the opinion on this?
Interesting one, Harper. Research shows that we are actually hardwired to use simplified language to young children. It's called infant-directed language, and it's something we all do instinctively. Adults, children, even young children. We moderate our language when engaging with babies and toddlers. We heighten the pitch, speak more slowly, exaggerate our intonation, and repeat phrases again and again. This type of talk is crucial to a child's language development. It appeals to them, attracts their attention, and helps them learn to understand language. In fact, tests have shown that newborns respond far better to IDL than normal adults speak. And some interesting new statistics indicate that as well as helping them understand, such talk is helping them actually produce language. The higher vocal pitch we use is imitating how the child itself will sound when they produce words. So we're priming them, giving them a model of sorts.
So my choo-choo train and bunny rabbit talk was good for my son?
Yes, in my opinion, most definitely. Babies spoken to using IDL seem to have wider vocabularies at an earlier age than those spoken to like adults. And also, by the way, a child's language acquisition comes in certain stages, so there's no point correcting your child's grammar at an early age. It's totally normal for a young child to say, "Daddy goed to work." They're just applying a grammatical rule they've acquired. Past tenses form with ed. They just haven't got to the irregular verbs yet.
This is so interesting. Could I ask a question about bilingualism? Is it possible